اللهم أدخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أغن كل فقير. اللهم أشبع كل جائع. اللهم اكس كل عريان. اللهم اقض دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل عسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Once again, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this moment to observe our weekly Eid. I first and foremost admonish myself and each and every one of you, respected mu'mineen and mu'minat, to have the consciousness of the teachings of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Last week, we looked at a portion of this beautiful dua. This dua which we inherited from our beloved Prophet, which is to be recited after every wajib salah in this holy month of Ramadan. And if you recall very well, we looked at the line, Allahumma agni kulla fakir. Ya Allah, enrich every poor. And we went ahead to look at the pains and the struggles of poverty and the type of life that a poor person goes through every single day of his or her life. And we mentioned that no doubt the teachings of this dua would be realized in full during the reappearance of our beloved 12th Imam. But we cannot fold our arms and say it will only be realized fully during the time of the reappearance and do nothing about it. The dua is a calling for us to prepare the grounds for the reappearance of our beloved awaited Savior. So what I'm going to do today is to continue from where I left off last week Friday, is to discuss more on this poverty, which if you look at the dua, there is no line which is repeated than the line of poverty. And if you examine the dua in depth, you realize that the dua is focusing on poverty. It's only one or two lines that is discussing something else. So you look at the dua and follow me. First you say, Allahumma adkhil ala ahli al-quburi surur. Nothing to do with poverty. It's talking about grave. Second line, Allahumma agni kulla fakir. Direct, talking about poor person. Allahumma ashbi' kulla ja'i. Allah satisfy every hungry. Poverty. Because if you are not poor, you will not sleep empty stomach. So it's about poverty, jua, hunger. It's about poverty. Allahumma ksu kulla uryan. Allah clothe every naked. Who? Poor person. Poor person, there are poor people. They struggle to have what to wear. So he's still talking about poverty. Allahumma qdi dayna kulli madin. Allah settled the debt of every debtor or someone who owes. Poverty. Struggling. I owe. I can't pay. I am struggling to pay. He's talking about poverty. Allahumma farrij an kulli makrub. It can come in different ways. Allah, relief everyone who is in pain and in sadness, in grief. Poverty can cause that. And of course, other things in life can cause that. Then if you continue, rudda kulla garib, fukka kulla asir, iktidaina kulli madin. Then at the end, there is another one to enrich the poor. But the last one is what? Wa agnina min al-faqr. Innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir. Agnina min al-faqr. Allah make us overcome faqr through your richness. So I kindly want to draw your attention again, mu'mineen and mu'minat. As we are now in the second 10 of these holy months, to do more in alleviating poverty. And if you are doing nothing about it and you are capable, change your mindset, change your thinking, start doing something. Otherwise you'll regret, believe me or not. Charity goes a long way. So what I'm going to do today, very briefly, is to capture different forms of poverty. 1. And 2, look at how Imam Ali fought poverty. He fought it. And when I talk of Imam Ali fighting poverty, it's not for his own personal gain. How he struggled and fought to alleviate the sufferings of poor people. And I will then humbly and passionately invite one and all again to emulate the footstep of Imam Ali. I know very well, you need a big heart to even give $100 to someone. You need a big heart. It's not easy. Someone who give you $100, he's got a big heart. It's not easy. That's why many people are very stingy. They don't want to give. They have surplus, and people around them are struggling. Remember, if you don't give charity, you reciting this dua has no benefit. Believe me or not, seriously. It has no benefit. Nahjul Balaga, Wisdom, 163. You know what Imam Ali says? Al-Fakru Mawtul Akbar. It has different meanings when you go to commentaries. But the first meaning is what? Imam Ali said poverty is the greatest death. Those of you who tasted poverty, you know what I'm talking about. It's not easy. Poverty is Mawtul Akbar. You wake up in the morning. There is this thing that you want to do, but you don't have money to do it. And you look around, oh, this is nothing. This amount is no big deal, but I don't have. You're dead. So hence Imam Ali said, Al-Fakru Al-Mawtul Akbar. Poverty is the greatest death. And one narration from the Prophet mentioned, as we proceed, remember, Allahumma agni kulla fakir. Allahumma sudda fakrana biginak. Remember these lines. Rasulullah mentioned, al-fakru ashaddu min al-qatl. He said, poverty is severe than being killed. Because you see, it's like you are living, and at the same time you are not living. That's poverty. You surviving, you breathing, but at the same time you're not there. That's poverty. That's why Rasulullah mentioned, ashaddu min al-qatl. One narration of Imam Ali mentioned, Wallah, if poverty comes to me, and I'm given a choice between it and death, I will choose death over poverty. Because there is no joy in life anymore when there is poverty. And one riwayah from Amir al-Mu'minin again is telling us, Al-kabru khayrun min al-fakr. You scared of Fishar Kabr? Amir al-Mu'minin is saying, Kabr is better than poverty. Maybe if you grown up, your fathers made the money for you, some of you, not all. I know some very struggle to get to where they are. Maybe you will not understand what I'm talking about. And you will not understand. But those who struggle to where they are, and those who are still struggling, I'm sure you relate to this easily. And you will not just relate to it, you'll go out of this mosque and start thinking of doing more. Because Allah has given you the blessings. And these blessings given to you by Allah is not for you alone. You are given so that you are able to take care of others. We've got 3 types of poverty, to cut long story short. The first one is excellence. Poverty to Allah, which you know very well. Chapter Fatir, verse 15 talks about that. Ya ayyuhan nasu, antumul fuqara'u ila Allah. Wallahu huwal ghaniyyul hamid. Allah now address people. You are all poor or poverty or needy to Allah. So that's good. You may have this wealth, but if you have this sense of need to Allah, it's excellent. And that is why Abu Abdullah in Dua Arafah, there is a line where Imam Hussein would say, Ilahi, ana faqirun fi ginai, kayfa la akuna faqiran fi faqr. Said, Ya Allah, I am poor in my richness. Why will not I be poor in my poverty? That is in terms of your need to Allah. No matter what your social status, financial status, Islam expects you to have this sense of need to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is excellent poverty. Second one, terrible. They call it fakrul ma'nawi, spiritual poverty. But what is spiritual poverty? Is to be bankrupt in your akhlaq and behavior. To have a terrible behavior. To be arrogant, takabbur, disrespectful. You poor. And hence Rasulullah mentioned, إِنَّمَا الْغِنَى غِنَى النَّفْسِ وَالْفَقْرُ فَقْرُ النَّفْسِ. So that indeed richness is to be rich at heart. Here, it's not talking about just giving, it's talking about your akhlaq and your behavior. And then he said the poverty is to be poor at heart, meaning to have a bad behavior. One narration mentioned, Ashadul Fakri, Fakrul Nafs. Severe form of poverty is to be poor at heart, meaning what? To be terrible in your behavior. You don't have good akhlaq. You mistreat people. You talk to people anyhow. You undermine people. Racism, marginalization. superiority complex, thinking you are better than people, you are poor spiritually. You may be poor materially, but if your akhlaq is not good, wallahi, you are poor in the eye of Allah. You see how many people are rich? When they see poor people, they undermine them. Some even don't know how to talk to poor people. I'm not talking only here. You go places, Muslims and non-Muslims. Some rich people, they think they own the world. And there are those who are very humble. They sit with poor people and eat. They greet poor people. They and their workers and employees, they are like friends. Some, they throw the food to their employees. It means you are poor in the eye of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, when you employ someone, you know better than him, by the way. It's just an opportunity Allah has given you to do His work on the face of the universe. So let's learn from this. The last form of poverty is what I've been talking about, material poverty. Imam Ali fought it big time. And I want to invite you all, let's join our hands and fight poverty. And before we quickly look at how Imam Ali and Ahl al-Bayt fought poverty, let me reiterate myself. Any one of us here who is struggling in life, financially especially, in addition to what I mentioned last week, take note of the following. These are all teachings of Rasulullah. You being poor doesn't mean that you've done wrong to Allah. You've not done anything wrong to Allah. If you don't have, it doesn't mean that you've done wrong to Allah. Number two, you don't have, don't worry. Console yourself with this. Al-Fakru ma'ana, this Imam Jafar. Khayrun min al-gina bi-gayrina. Imam Jafar said, poverty with us, meaning someone poor with us, is much better than someone rich who is not with us, Ahl al-Bayt. You've got Ahl al-Bayt, you're rich. Allah, you've got A'imma, you're rich. Number three, console yourself again with the traditions of the prophets. But the more you have, the heavier your responsibility. Of course, we all want to have. But the more you have, the more Allah will look at you and say, you know what? This is poor person in your family. This is poor person in your community. These are your workers. They've been working for 20 years. You're still giving them 10,000 shilling. They can't even have a house to rent. This is responsibility. The worker is not just to be getting the salary, it's to empower the worker. A person made you that money, and he doesn't even have where to sleep. His children is struggling to go to school, and you can't help. So if you don't have, console yourself with the traditions of the prophets. And that doesn't mean to say not to strive to have. The next thing to just take it to console yourself is what? If you don't have and you're still struggling, know that you are better than billions. You're not the poorest person on the earth. At least you have what to eat, moving. There are those, when they wake up in the morning, eye pains because of lack of what to eat. But then, you have to keep fighting and striving. Don't stop striving. Now look at how Amir al-Mu'mineen fought poverty. And this should serve as a lesson. You see, some of us, The way we do charity is wrong. Seriously. Our charity is not efficient. What do I mean? You know this person is in need. I mentioned last week, he come, 100 shilling. He will come back again tomorrow. He will keep coming. He will keep stressing you. And you will be rolling the glasses of your car. Empower the person so he doesn't come back to you anymore. See, when I was in Nairobi, I don't know now, on the day of Eid, Zakat al-Fitr, people will queue. Sharm of insan. Sharm. If insan doesn't have, he has dignity, isn't it? People used to queue here, ooh, out. And this is not only in Nairobi. I've been to other Jamaat the same. Why? It defeats the purpose of insaniya. And when they queue, how much you give them? 100, 200 zakat al-fitr. Next year, the same people will come for zakat al-fitr again. Islam calling for charity is about empowerment. Imam Ali empowered people around him. If people go and they squander, when they come back, draw a red line. Because you've done your part. But if I give you small, where will I go? Let me tell you a story. There's an alim who used to get frustrated by people asking him, all of us, we get frustrated like that. That's the nature of insan, by the way. Asking. Then he said, a time came, then I stopped getting frustrated. So we asked him, why you're not getting frustrated? He said, because you know what? If this person had, there was no way he would come to me. Because every insan has sharm. When somebody asks you, he may repeatedly ask you, wallah, he doesn't have, that's why. Unless if his nature is dead. Insan is got dignity. In fact, this alim was saying, of course, based on the tradition of the Prophet, isn't it? Prophet used to kiss the hand of the one he used to give. Because the person is reducing your load. So let's look at Amir al-Mu'minin. Alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And this should not just be a talk show. It's a simple akhlaq, khutbah. But let's take it on board. If you are doing, do more. If you are not doing, stop being stingy. Because you may not be able to account for all that you have. Imam Ali one day in Kufa was walking with some of his companions. So then there was this old man sitting there and he was crying. Imam Ali stopped. And he asked his companion, do you know him? He said, yes, we know him. He's a Christian fellow. He used to work for the governor of Imam Ali, government of Imam Ali. Imam Ali asked, why are you crying? He said, I'm old, sort of retired, but I don't have what to eat. Imam Ali sat next to him. He said, when he had the strength, you use him. Now he doesn't have, he retired, he's got nothing. Empower him and promise him, otherwise I will not move an inch. What do we get from here? I mentioned earlier, people work for you 20 years, 30 years. The day they go zero. I was telling someone last night, you've got these muallims who teach your children Quran. And I mean what I'm talking about. This Bicharo, 10 years is teaching your children Quran. 5 years is teaching. Are you not capable to empower the guy? Cushion him. Set him up. Small business. Sharm. What is salary you give in a month? I appreciate it. There are those who have done very well in our communities, in East Africa, in Europe, wherever. But we need to do more. Imam Ali said, no, when he had the strength, he used him. Now he has no strength and he threw him away. Not under the leadership of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So we need to follow Imam Ali alayhi salam. Allahumma adini kulla faqir. Allahumma sudda faqrana biginak. We need to walk the talk and vice versa. We need to translate this into action. Every year we recite this dua. And people are dying out of poverty under our cares. Some of our workers, their children cannot afford school fees. Can't you cushion them? Can't you give them? The one who gives will never lose. Why would Imam Ali alayhi salam carry food in the middle of the night and go around and distribute the food? To the extent that when Imam al-Hassan and Hussein alayhim salam went to Najaf and bury Amir al-Mu'mineen, when they were coming back, they met this fellow who was sitting there and he was lamenting and crying, tears upon tears. They walked towards him. What is the cause of your tears? Can you imagine? Imam Hassan and Hussein did not even know Amir al-Mu'mineen used to fend for that man. Said, my source of sustenance is just being buried. And I'm wondering who will continue with that. So please, mu'minin and mu'minat, let's emulate Ahl al-Bayt. Why would Imam Zain al-Abidin go out? I hate this notion, excuse my word. Somebody come, £100, £50, £10. You're making the person more and more poor. Holy month of Ramadan is good, do charity. But is this sustainable? Better give the person $1,000, $2,000. You know what? I'm not going to give you anything from now. Sort yourself out. Don't come back to me anymore. You're doing something. Or educate them. Some of the poor people are johal. No knowledge. Educate them. And there is no better form of empowerment than education. Once you've given them education, you're done. And I'm not talking of just black people. We've got poor people cut across. Because Islam doesn't expect you to heal yourself and to put yourself into constraint. But Islam says, share some of what you have. And the more you give, the more you get. Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. When Imam al-Baqir was busy preparing the janazah of the father, saw bruises around the chest and shoulders. And people ask Imam al-Baqir, what is this? He said, he used to carry food at night. Yes, we will not carry today. Today life is easy. We have people to do it for us. But that's empowerment. Insan is suffering in this day and age. Poverty is going higher. The rich is becoming richer. And the poor is becoming poorer. Imam al-Zaman will not come if you don't start bringing about social justice. This is about social justice. And not only Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam. Abu Abdullah. We cry for Abu Abdullah. Even enemies who deprived him of water, he gave them water. That's empowerment. Eat first, satisfy. Then I will deal with you with fairness and justice. And lastly, not everyone who is poor will come and ask you. There are those who will not ask, but they are struggling. If someone doesn't ask you, doesn't mean that the person is not struggling. Some, they've got dignity, you know. So we've got different types of people. Someone will come and ask you, nothing wrong with that. Some will not come. So you detect. The fact that some people have houses, they've got cars, doesn't mean that they are rich. So those who have been given by Allah, let's do sustainable empowerment. I'm seriously about what I'm talking about. I've gone around, and the way we do our charity is just, not all, don't get me wrong, some are really doing fantastic job. It's just impoverishing. Seriously. And I do not believe if Imam Ali is alive today, he would accept that. And I do not believe Imam Zaman will be happy. So therefore, look at your means and then reach out to those who do not have. And empower them, make them self-sufficient, make them independent. And Allah will keep showering you with His mercy and rahmah. We ask Allah wa ta'ala to forgive us our shortcomings. We ask Allah to continue to inspire us with His true teachings. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to expedite the reappearance of the Imam of our time. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar. فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر